Hey guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we are going to be doing a tarantula feeding Q&A. Over the past 2 weeks on Instagram, I've been asking you to send me in questions, and I have quite a few now, and I'm not gonna lie, there are some really good questions in there, so that's what we're doing today. But I have Lucifer here. He is my lavender albino paradox California king snake, and I rescued this boy 2 years ago today, so that's why I got him out and I wanted you guys to see him. I don't think I've properly introduced you to this snake on my channel before, but yeah, here he is. He's absolutely stunning. Yeah, 2 years ago today I rescued this boy, and as you can see, he's got all these little spots. He looks like a little cow. I remember rescuing Lucifer because when he came into the rescue, Fred literally walked up to me with a pillowcase, opened it, and I was like, I am taking him home. He is the most beautiful king snake I've ever seen. And then because I rescued him, I rescued my other king snake Aura as well, so I managed to rescue 2 king snakes in one go, and it's all because of this guy here. But king snakes are a big favourite of mine. When I was first getting into snakes, I had always wanted a California king snake, and now I've got 2, and this is one of them. But isn't he beautiful? Got little pink eyes. But yeah, I thought I'd quickly show you Lucifer, simply because, like I said, 2 years ago today, this boy came into my life and I love him. I am working on an all my snakes video because you guys really haven't met everyone and there are some amazing species. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you Lucifer because I wanted to give him a hug, because yeah, he makes me really happy. But that's him. Let's put him away. Lucifer is away, he's rattling his tail at me like always, and I've got my gorgeous shiny snake book which is full of your guys' questions. So let's go through these and answer some questions, and then you can also see me feeding my tarantulas. I'm gonna try and feed everyone today, but they might not all be included in the video, but let's see. So, question number 1. So, the first question we're going to be answering today is, so if you were about to get a royal python, my biggest advice would be, 1, ask yourself, are you planning on having more snakes in the future, or is this going to be your one snake and that's what you're happy with for the rest of your life? Because royal pythons live a long time, 15 plus years, can reach 20, even more. And if this is going to be your first snake but you're planning on getting more snakes, make sure you're still picturing your first snake in your collection when you're picturing all these future animals you would like, because they live a long time. And I work at a rescue, and a lot of the time royals come back because people want to upgrade to a cooler snake, or they think they're really boring, which I don't think they're boring, but there is a reason they're great beginner snakes, and it's because they're not too active, they're not too bitey, things like that. However, if you want to get more snakes in the future, maybe wait and just work on your experience, do some volunteering, practice, working with other snakes, using a snake hook, because when you get your first snake and it's a royal and then you're planning on getting something like a false water cobra, you're going to be bored of that royal and you're probably going to end up rehoming it because it's using up space when you could fill it with something really cool. And I don't have this mindset, but I work with a lot of customers that do have this mindset, meaning just take that into consideration before you get your first snake. Is this going to be your only snake, or are you planning on getting more? Because royals make amazing beginner snakes for so many reasons, but like I said, they can be a little bit boring, which causes people to get rid of them because they want something more interesting, and it's just really not fair on the animal, because a lot of the time you guys are getting baby royal pythons because you want to have the full experience. Well, if you want to have the full experience, be there for its whole life, you know? That's all I want to say on that. So yeah, that's my advice if you're going to get a royal. They're great snakes. Obviously look into the feeding habits of some royals. Some can be fussy. Definitely look into the morphs if you're trying to get something fancy and not a wild type. Look into it. Look into the genetics to get that pattern, because you don't want to have something with neurological problems. There she is. Okay, you gotta let go of the tongs, honey. No, she's, oh my god, she's so crazy. There we go. She's getting really big and she's also getting really sassy. Okay, question number 2. What got me into reptiles? Now this is such a good question because, I don't know, I kind of like the story. I was around 15 and my science teacher at the school I was at bought Madagascar hissing cockroaches. Now the school, they were not happy, but me, I was obsessed. At lunchtime I always had them out, I was feeding them, I cleaned them, I was obsessed with them. And I really didn't know what I was going to do. I kind of wanted to be a teacher, but I was just at a point in my life where I was like, what? And then a teacher said to me, well, why don't you go to college for animals? And I was like, why didn't I think of that? So I started an animal management course when I reached 16, and then they had a reptile room and I was obsessed in working in there. I would take care of the crested geckos. The 2 cresties I owned used to be from those colleges, and I used to treat them because they get into fights. And I loved it. I just absolutely loved the reptile unit. I don't think enough people put an effort in with the reptile unit, which is why I think I cared so much. And then from there I got myself a Pac-Man frog, and then I got my first snake, Nyoka, who I still have. And then after that I started volunteering at the rescue I work at now because I needed to do work experience for my college course. And then once college was over I was obsessed with volunteering, and reptiles was just all I could think about, and that's what it's been like for the past 3 years. So yeah, that's kind of what got me into reptiles. I was always in love with all animals, but until I met the cutest Madagascar hissing cockroaches, I didn't realise how much I loved animals and how much I wanted to work with them. So yeah, that's what got me into reptiles. Cockroaches. Question 3. Do I plan on getting any more reptiles, or is there any reptiles I want in the future? Yes, I love reptiles and I'm curious about all reptiles, but right now I'm good. I've got my hands full. Like, I'm always happy to take on more bugs, like arachnids, because I love them and they're really easy to keep. But snakes and lizards, I'm good. At the moment I'm actually going through and redoing everyone's enclosures. A lot of the glass tanks I've got are going to be bioactive. I'm actually doing a bioactive tank right now downstairs. I've just finished doing the expanding foam. So for now I'm good. However, snakes or reptiles that have always been on my radar and I'd love to take: Mexican black king snake, rain snake, mountain king snakes, actually any species of king snake. I mean, I'd love a tegu. We have a Colombian tegu, but I'd love like a big tegu one day. But yeah, these are all animals that I've got to have my collection down before I start adding. And right now, I'm really happy. I'm really happy with the little family I've got. So no, I do not plan on getting any reptiles in the future. But hey, you never know. Something might come into the rescue and yes. Okay, I have no idea if this girl's gonna eat. She's kind of crazy. Okay, I don't think she's gonna eat. She's being kind of a bitch. Okay, triangle here is definitely not gonna eat. Look at this this bitch. She's just being so rude. Miss, you've just let a mealworm get away, so rude. Okay, so my battery died and I just assumed Triangle would go off, but turns out she, confirmed female by the way, got the worm that we put in there. Sorry, my animal room is such a mess. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, she's got the worm. So, well done, Triangle. Question 4? 3? I don't know what number we're on, but next question. What is your dream pet reptile? Oh, this is difficult. When I was younger, it was a Burmese python, which I now own. And then I'd say, okay, I love Belfay's lace monitors. They are so beautiful. As well as rain snakes, like I said in my last question, I love rain snakes. Boleyn's python. Boleyn's python. Next question. Okay, so Santiago is my curly hair. Now, I rarely see him, but I know where he is right now. He is behind this piece of bark. I can get a better shot. There we go, there's Santi. So yes, he's a curly hair. He is a rescue. I think he was my first rescue trencher actually. I rescued him coming up to a year and a half ago now. Ah, that's what I'm talking about. Now that is a feeding video. Next question is snakes or lizards. Now this is really easy for me, it's snakes. However, chameleons are my spirit animals, so I always feel bad when I say I like snakes over lizards because I even have my chameleon tattooed on my arm. But snakes, there is something so calming to me about snakes. I love experimenting with enclosures. I love how they use their body language. Just snakes are magical creatures, and I also love the symbolism of like growth. Every time they shed their skin, you are growing as a person, as a snake. That's what, yeah, so not to be a hippie, but yeah, I love snakes. No, come back. Okay, well, she got it. Can you see her little legs? Next question. My next question I've actually already answered. What is my first reptile? Reptile was Nyoka, my wild type royal python. And she's great, and I still have her. Well, it's there if she wants it. Like I said, she's a really shy eater, so I'm not too sure if she's going to eat. But that's Daphne. She's so pretty right now. She's so pink. The next question I'm actually really excited to answer, and it is, what is my favourite thing about owning animals? Because not only do I own reptiles and amphibians and arachnids, I used to own rodents, and I do own 4 dogs. Now, my favourite thing is I have a role, I have a responsibility, and they help me. 2019 was not an easy year for me, and I can say my animals helped me so much. They helped me get out of bed, they give me routine to my day, and that's what I love about them, is the connections you gain between your animals. Like me and Gordon are like best buds, whereas Gordon was one of the angriest chameleons I'd ever met in my life. And relationships like that, when you bond with an animal, that is amazing. And yeah, the fact they give me a purpose. So the next question is a really interesting topic, and I think I even want to make a whole video about this, but it's what is my opinion on cohabbing snakes, and is there some species that you can cohab? So my personal opinion on cohabbing snakes in captivity, unless it's for breeding purposes, I think is unnecessary. In the wild, snakes only come together for breeding purposes, and in captivity I don't think it's fair to force two animals in the same space 24/7. So on a not so sad note, basically when you cohab snakes, say it's for example two corn snakes who are non-cannibalistic snakes, and if they are the same sex, you can put them together and most of the time you won't have problems. However, you are increasing the competition in that enclosure, meaning if someone wants a drink of water, there's always another snake that might be more dominating, so you might not feel comfortable to drink water because there's another snake around. The best spots in the vivarium, so the best basking spots in the vivarium, two snakes are going to be like squished up together trying to get the best heat or the best UV in the viv, and some people confuse this for, oh my god, my snakes are hugging, they love being together. In reality, they're both just trying to get to the best hot heat spot in the vivarium. They don't have emotions in the sense where they need to bond or that they like each other. It's not really like that. So that's what I'll say on cohabbing. But one thing I will say, and there is research if you want to do it, non-cannibalistic snakes can still eat another snake, because if you put two snakes together and one is significantly smaller than the other snake, he will eat it because they're very opportunistic and they're gonna eat what they think they can eat. So yes, I don't personally agree with cohabbing. No, I'm not going to say you're horrible if you do it, I just don't think it's necessary. And yes, there is a risk even in non-cannibalistic snakes that they can eat each other or they can harm each other. Something to take into consideration is when you are feeding snakes that are cohabbing, you have to remove them from the enclosure, which you should be doing. If not, you might have some fights. And that means you're constantly moving them out, moving them back in when they're eating, and sometimes it's not completely necessary. Now, I move my hognose, who's all the way up here. I do take him out of the enclosure to eat, but that's so he doesn't eat substrate, and he does very well with that. So no, it's not a bad thing that you're going to constantly have to handle your snakes when they're eating if you cohab, but it's just something to consider, as well as the fact one or two snakes, if say there's 2 or 3 snakes in an enclosure, one might not eat. Now, the reason for this is the only defense snakes have is their mouth. If you have fed the snake, his mouth is busy, meaning he can't defend himself. So if a snake feels uncomfortable or on edge, they might not eat if there's another snake around because they feel like they always need to be on guard and be ready for an attack. So that's another thing to take into consideration before you start cohabbing snakes. But yes, there are species you can put together. Yes, they might not eat each other for years. Yes, you might have snakes that have lived together for years and they've never touched each other. But what is the harm in separating them? So Cutie, my rescue tarantula, I've only managed to get her to eat once, but this is her. She is a Grandma Styler Porteri. You know what? She kind of looks like she's in pre-molt. Okay, and the final question, which I think is going to be really hard for me to answer, is what is my favourite animal that I own / have owned? I mean, dogs, I can't live without them, but I will say, it's so hard to pick. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with my Madagascar cat-eyed snake because she is incredible. But Betsy, my Burmese python, she is incredible and I've always wanted to own a Burmese python. But then there's also my Toge gecko, which is just so cool. Or some of my spiders. Okay, you know what? No, not answering that question. Sorry. But that was it, guys. That was the video. Thank you for everybody who submitted questions. I think in the next Q&A I might include who wrote the questions. But I really enjoyed getting you guys involved for this video as opposed to me just talking at you. I hope it made sense because my brain is a bit all over the place today. So I hope I didn't ramble on too much, but yes. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below on a video you want to see next week, and yeah. Oh, next week's video is going to be how to care for your sun beetles. So if you're interested, subscribe so you know when that video is going up. But bye guys.